All right, thanks for joining us. This is a Bad Apple podcast, episode 1. You're here with Bad Apple and 45.
45.
So we were talking because we live up here in the beautiful Mount Washington Valley. So we were talking about our amazing tour season that we're having this year.
Yeah, it's great. Traffic's great.
This is actually, I think, after living here for 20 years, this is going to be like the worst tour season I've ever seen here.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's like the pandemic, and there's more people out than usual.
I think with the pandemic, people decided, let's explore our local areas. And so people from Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island, going up into the beautiful White Mountains, which is gorgeous around here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but when you live here, you kind of want to keep it to yourself, you know?
I just want to keep it clean. You see the bags of trash on the side of the road because tourists can't friggin' find a trash barrel. Or, my favorite is when I'm standing outside smoking a cigarette in our parking lot and I watch people drive in off of the main road, go to our dumpster, put stuff on the dumpster, and then drive back out. It's like, okay, at least you made it to a dumpster, but not in the dumpster, on top of the dumpster.
It's not a public dumpster.
No, it's not a public dumpster, but at least it got off the trails. Some of the pictures I see of the trails are ridiculous. People just leaving crap. People leaving dirty diapers. You gotta change your kid. You don't leave a dirty diaper on the side of the trail. Come on now. I mean, the saying is, does a bear shit in the woods? Yes. But does a baby?
But the woods is his house. So he can shit.
You know? People are making it, trashing it. And we have a beautiful place.
And not only that, you go into the store, can't even get fucking baking soda. We went in there yesterday to try to get a little box. They had this big jumbo box.
You can't get baking soda. It's like, can't get meat.
I didn't know baking soda was so popular.
Last week it was trying to get meat. The meat cases were wiped out because everybody's up here having their cookouts and doing their... They're supposed to be social distancing. So let's bring 20 people from New York and put them in an Airbnb, blast off fireworks at 11 o'clock at night, wake up the whole neighborhood, but they're happy, so whatever, right? I saw a bumper sticker on a person's car that I want, and it said, "I'm not on your vacation." I need that bumper sticker. Because I'm not on your vacation. You don't need to drive 20 miles an hour down the road because you want to look at all the pretty sights. Drive the speed limit.
There's parking places around here.
No, the scenic vistas everywhere.
I think in the mountains, when you go up to they have little places you can pull off.
Yeah, scenic
off
vistas.
The road,
yeah.
Not in the middle of the road, you know.
Like, literally, they drive 20 miles an hour because they have their cell phones out the windows taking pictures. It's like, pull over. Let somebody go by you. But instead you got a fucking funeral procession behind you because Joe Schmo from fucking Gloucester can't get his head out of his ass and fucking move.
Yeah.
No offense to Gloucester. Gloucester's a nice place. Good seafood. You know, if you like seafood. It's good seafood. But I go on vacation and I don't want to be sitting in traffic. I don't want to be causing a big scene. I go on vacation to go on vacation. You know, I go on vacation to have fun and enjoy time with my family.
Yeah, but nobody gives a shit. There's no courtesy.
No, there's no courtesy. And you know, I find I'm really bad about courtesy myself when it comes to people with out-of-state plates. I won't let them pull up in front of me. I won't let them back out of their spots. I become a horrible, horrible, mean driver. It's a pick-me, I'm first attitude. Because I have to get to work. You're going to go sit in line at the restaurant to go to breakfast. I'm going to work. Get out of my way.
Yeah, you're on vacation. You're not in a hurry. You're going anywhere.
No. But when I go on vacation, I want to relax and I want to have a good time and I want to laugh and have fun. But I don't do it at the cost of somebody else.
Right.
You know, I went on vacation to California with my girlfriend Maureen, and we had a ball. We had an absolute blast. We were having a great time, and we decided to go for a walk on Sunset Boulevard and check out the little stores, and we went to the House of Blues, and we were coming out of the House of Blues. And Maureen and I are just chatting up a storm because I'm pretty oblivious to everything that's going on around me. And lo and behold, I see Andrew Dice Clay across the street. Huge Andrew Dice Clay fan. I love me some Andrew Dice Clay. You like Andrew? You like Andrew?
Yeah, everybody likes him.
I like him as a comedian and actor. He gets a little pompous too, but that's okay. He's allowed. He makes the money. But he was funny. He's crossing the street. He had a red convertible. He was crossing the street, and I had to be me, and I hollered out, "Andrew Dice Clay, you fuck!" And as soon as the word "fucking" started to come out of my mouth, I walked into a parking meter and fell flat on my ass. Like, completely laid myself out.
It's a good first impression.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Andrew Dice Clay, actually, he was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just gave you material for, like, the next 2 weeks." So it's this fat chick walking down Sunset Boulevard. He's laughing. I guarantee he used that at some point in his career. I wonder if I could go back and find out if he ever told a joke about a fat chick walking down Sunset Boulevard.
So this fat chick.
I came for the bonus plan. Dope. Come on now. But it was fun. But see, that's what I didn't do anything to hurt anybody else. I wasn't making a mess. And
You hurt yourself.
Yeah, I will absolutely always make fun of myself before anyone else can.
A little bit of humility.
It's good for you. To a point, to make fun of yourself before anybody else can make fun of you. You know? I like to. But you're my 40 fine, so not much to make fun of.
Well, you can find something.
Oh, I'm sure I could. Just like you can find things about me. Not much.
What?
I'm a little bit of a bitch.
That's what attracted me to you.
I'm a little bit of a bitch.
Crazy.
Oh, I got the documents to prove that.
You always smell good, though. That's a good thing.
That's not too bad considering I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to accomplish.
It is.
I do go out and smoke all the time.
So, yeah, you've had a lot of crazy experiences.
They're not crazy. My experience...
Well, they're unique because, well, you started to tell me a story yesterday about your Volare that you took the...
Oh, the Volare. It wasn't my Volare, but I had an Aspen. I had an Aspen. But my boyfriend in high school, his best friend, who actually ended up being my boyfriend after that boyfriend, like I dumped one and went out with the other, his best friend had a Volare. So they decided to take the rims and cut them so they were able to be fit on train tracks and stay on the train tracks because they were both huge train
So they
geeks.
narrowed them. They cut the outsides out.
Yeah, they cut the outsides out of the rims and made it so they would stay on the train tracks. They were huge train geeks. I mean, huge train geeks. Like, we would go into railroad yards and get busted by police officers.
So how'd they get the car on there? There must have been a flat spot for the...
No. So putting the Volare on the tracks was quite an experience because you drive out to the tracks and then you jack up the front end and you get the rims on. So you get to turn it so that the wheels are the rims are on the track. Then you jack up the rear end and do the same thing with the rear end. It was always because you drove right onto the tracks with the car and then just switched them over.
So they cut the rims and everything while they were on the track, and then...
They had the rims already cut and formed, ready to go. They had them So went with the big.
So how do you get on the track?
You drive. You take your they're on tires at that point. Drive onto the tracks, then jack up the car, take the tires off.
Oh, okay. So they had a separate set of rims.
A separate set of rims.
That makes sense.
So then, one would drive the car, and the other would sit on the hood of the car with a flashlight. So it looked, when we did it at night, it looked like a train was coming at you, because you have one single beam of light coming down the tracks. So it would look like a train would come at you, and we would ride the rails. And when we'd approach a crossing, these kids had been so obsessed with trains. One of them had stolen a train horn. So I don't know if you know anything about trains, and I know far too much about trains for being a girl, but when you're approaching a crossing, the train horn blows 2 longs, a short, and a long. So it goes meh, 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 meh. So 2 longs, a short, and a long.
How's that go again?
No, I'm not doing that again. You got one time, that's it. So one sat on the hood with the train horn, and when we would approach a crossing, would actually do the appropriate 2 longs, a short, and a long. So it would sound like a train was coming to the crossing. And people would stop for the train coming to the crossing, because you're approaching a crossing, right, that have guards.
Yeah. You
hit the connector, because there's a connection that runs from one rail to the other.
And it moves.
No, it's a connector that sets off the lights and the drop bar.
Oh, as the train approaches it does it.
Right, it does it automatically. So once we would hit that with the car, it would set off the lights for the train crossing lights, and the barriers would come down. So we'd go rolling through the middle of Braintree, through the square, rolling through this.
But can you imagine sitting on the other side in the car waiting for the fucking Volare?
And the Volare comes through. With one guy on the hood holding the flashlight and a guy and his girlfriend in the front seat.
That'd be awesome if you're trying to get away from the cops.
Well, you can't. The cops will catch you. You can't go fast. That's the thing, is you can't go fast. You have
the rims.
Right, you're only on the rims. So you're shooting sparks the whole time. It was a trip.
So the whole point of it was just to do it?
Just to do it, to say we did it.
So where was your part in this whole thing?
I was just the instigator.
Did you actually ride in the car?
I rode in the car, but that was it. I didn't do anything. I wasn't going to do anything to get myself in trouble.
You were in the car, though.
Yeah, but I never did anything to get myself in trouble. Like, I never did anything that would come back and say, my father was a constable in our town, so everybody knew my dad, all the cops knew my dad. So it wasn't like I wanted my father ever to get that call and be like, your daughter did this and she's in jail. Because my father always said to us, you go to jail, don't call home, you're safer in jail.
Yeah.
Always. He always said that to us. So there was no way I was going to do anything. And I was daddy's little girl. So I wasn't going to do anything to upset my dad. Except for get pulled over for doing 120 and a 35.
Oh yeah, the Charger.
Yeah, but that was fun. That was fun. I liked to speed.
Well, explain the area, because it was, what was the speed limit? 40?
35.
35.
Yeah.
In a busy city area.
Well, not super busy, but Route 3A, which is a pretty significant road. The Hingham Police Station just happened to be right there, and so I decided to just lay on it, and 68 Charger with the 383.
Yeah, you don't want to get yourself in trouble though.
No, don't want to get yourself in trouble, but you also don't expect a cop to be coming out of the parking lot behind the police station at the same time you roll by there doing about 85, 90 miles an hour. So, and at that point, you're not giving up, but it's an orange Charger, so then you think to yourself, I'm not getting away, because I'm going to be running in this town another time, because in order to get to Nantasket Beach...
It's not like it looks like every other car, or there's a lot of
Right. I mean, it was bright orange, and black vinyl top, bumblebee stripes around the rear end, it is stuck out. So, in order to get to Nantasket Beach, which is where you all cruised, you have to go through Hingham. You have no choice. There is no way to get from the town that I lived in to Nantasket Beach without going through Hingham. So I'm like, if I manage to get away with this, I'm still screwed because they're gonna see me at some point because I'm not gonna not go back to
that area.
Yeah, I'm not gonna not go back to Nantasket either. You know, I grew up going there. When I'm dead, I want to be buried there. So, well, not buried, but spread there. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Don't forget. No, seriously, don't forget. I want my ashes spread on Nantasket Beach. And it has to be Nantasket Beach. And it has to be on the beach. It has to be on the sand. So all those little skinny little bitches get a little bit of fat chick on them. So when they roll it around in the sun and thinking they're so prim and proper and they're so cute,
get a little fat chick.
They'll get a little fat chick on them. Then they'll go out into the water. It'll wash off. And I'll travel along to some other beach somewhere in Costa Rica, and some little skinny bitch is going to get some fat chick on her. And I'll travel around the world when I'm dead. It'll be amazing. I thought this through.
And be an advocate for the fat chicks, right?
Yes. Yeah, and speaking about fat chicks,
representing.
You know, the fat shaming that goes on, the quick, easy joke. You and I have talked about this before. It drives me absolutely bananas. The comedians that have to resort to the quick, easy joke. Well, they were fat.
Well, let's talk about the one that you... Like, I'm a big Bill Burr fan, and you're not.
No, I like Bill Burr.
Because he talks about... He harps a little bit on the overweight, you know, the fat... Not just fat chicks, fat guys, fat kids.
You know...
Your argument...
My argument...
It's an easy...
It's an easy target. Why take the easy target? Why not take a more difficult target? Why is it okay to fat shame people, but it's not okay to call someone out on their color? Why is it okay to fat shame people, and it's not okay to call someone out on their sexuality?
Because if you're fat, 80% of the time you have control over it. You can lose weight.
What about the other 20%?
If you're black,
what about
black.
the other 20%?
There's nothing you can do about it unless you change your...
What about the other 20% though? Do they not count? You said 80%. You can change it. What about the other 20% that can't change it?
They can't. They have no control.
Right. So how do you think they feel
something?
when they get fat shamed? That 20%.
I'm not saying it's right.
No,
I'm just saying that.
I'm saying that that's what I'm talking. That's who I'm standing up for. Is those people that have a thyroid issue.
You have a medical.
And their actual medication
He talks more about people that self-inflict themselves with it. Like people that he talked about one time he was in an airport and this fat chick had Egg McMuffin. She was eating an Egg McMuffin. It's not the fact that she was eating the Egg McMuffin. He said that she used a paper bag to wipe her face with it.
Okay, but why did he have to point out that she was a fat chick? Why couldn't she just been any chick?
Because he's a comedian and
he went for the quick joke.
Right.
And that's what irritates me, is you go for the quick joke. It's like, you know what? I'm fat. I'm large and in charge. I'm all set with that. And you know what, though? I'm sexual. I'm attractive. I'm funny. I can take a joke when a joke is on me. And I'm the first one to dish it on myself. I'm okay, and I'm confident in who I am. I may be fat, but I'm large and in charge. I am HBIC over here. Head bitch in charge.
You're not 100% confident.
I'm what?
You're not 100% confident.
Not always. No, but I have no problems attracting a male person now, do I?
You own it.
I do own it. Do I have any issue attracting a male suitor?
One thing you do that kind of bothers me is that you make it obvious. Like, I'm a fat chick. Why wouldn't I know how to eat that kind of food? I'm a fat chick.
That's right.
I'm a fat chick.
I can use it all day long. But until someone's rolled in my shoes...
I mean, I'm hairy, but I don't call myself an ape all the time, you know?
You're not that hairy. You can't call yourself an ape. Your back's not bad.
Back's not bad. I can use a trim.
I might be able to nail that shit, but it's not bad.
That'll hurt.
It's not bad. You're not hairy, you're furry.
Furry. Yeah, I don't have the bristles. I got soft.
Yeah, you're furry 45.
I don't know, but can you at least admit that there's some fat chicks that wear stuff they shouldn't wear?
Oh my gosh, I can so admit that.
And it's not...
And I'll be the first person to call someone out for it. It's like, oh honey, you need to cover that fat roll that's hanging out over your pants.
Like the half shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, that's no.
Or the yoga pants that you can see that crack, and then they have the underwear that says juicy.
Oh, yeah, no, we're good with that. Know your body.
Yeah, but it doesn't. The society doesn't matter. If you're thin, you're too thin. You're sick. There's something wrong with you. If you're fat, it's because you're lazy and you don't take care of yourself.
I want to know why I'm fat. Do you want to know why I'm fat?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody else wants to know too.
I know why I'm fat.
Why are you fat?
Because I'd rather be fat and happy than skinny and hungry. And I like to cook. And you like to eat my cooking.
Yeah, you're a great cook. There's no denying that.
So, that's it. But you think most people will say fat people like to sit and eat junk food all day, every day. How often do you see me do that? Do I do that? I make a good meal.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe have a snack.
We eat a little bit of ice cream, chips.
What?
But it's not like...
Wait, you say ice cream like we're having a bowl of ice cream.
Okay, Nutty Buddy.
Like a Nutty Buddy.
Eclair.
Right.
Eclairs.
We're not sitting here with half a gallon ice cream.
We don't go and buy a dozen donuts.
No.
Take those out.
No, and I'm not really a big sweets person either.
No, you don't eat much chocolate.
No, I don't eat No. Well, it's because I worked at a chocolate place when I was in high school, where we hand dipped all our own chocolate.
But my point is that it doesn't matter. Somebody's always going to find something wrong with you.
I agree, but you got us off the subject. The reason that I don't like that cheap, I just don't like the cheap joke. Why go for the cheap joke? What did I say about Bill Burr? We're going to specifically talk about him. I said he's an extremely intelligent guy, and a lot of times I find him pretty funny. But that makes me lose faith, and they lose credibility with me when they go for the cheap fat joke.
Yeah, but
and that's any comedian.
But you like more intelligent kind of comedy, like George Carlin.
I love George Carlin.
Comedians like that.
Well, that's because I love politics.
It's not just dick and fart jokes.
You see, I don't like the dick and fart jokes. Toilet humor has never been my thing. Like South Park and what's the American Family Guy. Those shows, toilet humor's never been my thing. I definitely do like a more higher spectrum of comedy, I guess, than that.
So,
where I have to think. I like to think. Because I like politics. You know that. I love discussing politics. And I get fired up and I'm wicked passionate about politics.
Yeah, see, that's where we're different. When I listen to comedy or when I watch TV, I watch stuff where I don't have to think. Because my job, that's all I do.
My job?
And I
look at what I do for a living.
I need a break from it.
It's intense. We both have intense jobs.
I just need a break.
Yeah. Well, see, you watch TV with me. How bad am I?
We like some of the same shows.
Right. But I'm always like, I know what's going to happen before it happens because I spend too much time thinking about it. You know? And I'm a little bit narcissistic, and a lot of TV people are narcissistic, and they want... So, I can think that way.
Well, back to the fat thing. I mean, I'm fat. I'm fat because of my life, how I allow it. I mean, yes, I have diabetes, but all that shit's manageable. Mm-hmm. You know? And I choose more times than not to do the right thing. So
I don't know. Yesterday you weren't choosing well when you had that second plate of chicken parmesan.
Yeah, that was good though.
And you helped make the sauce, so it made you feel good, didn't it?
A little bit, yeah. A little instant gratification, and that's a lot of it for me because when I did drugs and everything, I was, I did it for the instant gratification.
Yeah.
But overeating was my first, so-called addiction.
Oh, food has always been my best friend.
And I still have it.
Food's always been my best friend. They're there when everybody else is gone. When you suffer from depression, you find that thing.
But the downfall is it's not a permanent solution. It's temporary.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
It's like somebody that's that does what do you call promiscuous, that goes around and has lots of sex with different people, not like committed. They do that because number one, well, I can't even say this because men and women do it.
Yeah, there are men and women sex
women,
addicts.
Men and women.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's all lust, and lust is a part of an instant gratification. It's just like gluttony.
Well, that's
part of instant gratification.
Oh, when you get off, it releases endorphins. It makes you feel good.
And you're paralyzed for.
No, you're paralyzed.
5 minutes or something. Well, let's not get into that because.
No. No, because you're bright red already.
Not that. It's because you make me stop. So. You don't want to go for that other one. You just you get the big one, and that's the big one. Let's stop while we're ahead.
Yeah, let's quit while we're ahead. So we're good to go. I want to go to bed now. I think I have sex like a guy. I'm one of those. It's like.
Yeah, it's like you enjoy it. Yeah. You talk for a couple minutes. Yeah, I want to go to bed now.
Yeah, roll over, get away from me. I definitely like to sleep on my own side and don't like to be touched.
Yeah, but we do that even when we don't have sex.
Right, I don't like to be touched when I'm sleeping.
And we sleep the same way.
Yeah.
We have a king bed. One sleeps way on the other side, the other one sleeps on the other side.
Perfect. That's why you have a king bed.
You have that option for the middle.
Yeah. Nobody has to sleep in the wet spot.
No. Now, if we didn't have kids coming over, we could use that second bedroom. And then we could sleep in the main bedroom.
Right? Sorry, kids.
Anyways.
I don't think the kids will ever hear this. But
I heard a lot worse. Sure.
Well, my kids grew up having the band around them because we were in a band. They're both myself and their father. So they grew up with some major language, and music was a huge thing in our house. Still huge in their house.
But that's not just the music part of it. It's not. It started your whole part of your family is musicians.
Yeah, well, my music
when you grew up, you were around music.
Yeah, I grew up.
And you ended up being a musician.
I ended up singing live for the first time when I was 12 with the Country Gentlemen at the local American Legion. And I remember their officer paying me $10. He said, "This is for you." So what's that for? He's like, "Because now you're a professional. You just sang publicly for the first time, and I can say I was the first one to pay you professionally." I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much. I have money." And I was all excited. And I sang Country Roads by John Denver.
That was Patsy Cline.
No, I did not sing. My very first time I ever sang, I sang Country Roads, and it was at an Irish St. Patrick's Day party at the Legion. It was corned beef and cabbage, and I sang some Irish song that I can't remember. I just remember cockles and mussels and alive, alive, ho. Something like that. I don't remember. But
I don't know. For me, music, music does kind of what. Well, music to me is an instant. It is an instant gratification, but it gives me that comfort, kind of like drugs did and food does.
Oh, playing live gives me a high better than any drug ever.
Oh, definitely. But I'm just saying, when you're not, because when you're in a band, playing live is like 10% of the whole.
Yeah, but you come off a good gig. You come off that gig.
You live off that high for a while.
It's just it's something that's just.
But that's what gives you the motivation. So if the next gig isn't as good,
you get frustrated.
But you always remember how you felt, and you always want that.
Striving to get that high again.
High again. Like an addict.
Yeah, you become addicted to it, and.
I wasn't just addicted to playing live. I was addicted to music, period.
Oh, definitely. I get bored with music, though. I
mean, genre?
Yeah, like, I'll get stuck and I'll be like, classic rock's my genre. That's where I live. You know, that's what I listen to 99% of the time. But every once in a while, I just get really tired of it, and I have to throw something else in there. And I'll throw in, like, classic country, or I'll, like, not new country, because I can't stand it, but classic country, like Patsy Cline, like Hank Williams Sr., you know, we're classic country.
The only time I don't do that voluntarily, that happens to me when I'm with somebody else that listens to different kind of music.
Yeah. See, I have to throw in my Taylor Swift every once in a while, too, you know.
And sometimes it's good, because it opens my mind to something else, you know?
Yeah. I like to throw, like, every once in a while I'll throw Taylor Swift in, and it'll be followed by Hailstorm. It's like totally different things, but I like my Taylor Swift and I like my Hailstorm. But when I get bored, if I've been listening to the radio too much and I get bored, I have to find something else. I'll listen to Pachelbel's Canon, you know, just to...
Well, I played that in concert band, I think, with Jazz Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite compositions. But just to listen to something different and listen to music again and just try to find music again. Like, I've been to 1,000,001 concerts. You've been to a lot of concerts.
Yeah. You've been to more than I have, but still.
But I grew up in an area where there were a lot more concert venues.
Like right in the heart of it.
Yeah, because I grew up 15 minutes out of Boston.
There's a lot of good bands come from Boston.
Yeah. So,
well, Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Yeah, Aerosmith, Jay Giles Band.
Yep.
Billy Squire.
Yeah, he's actually from the Newton Wellesley area.
Yeah. Who else is from there? There's other musicians from there. I don't remember.
Dropkick Murphys. They actually used to play in Wollaston. At the Beachcomber.
Isn't Godsmack from Massachusetts?
That's not in my genres. I don't listen to Godsmack. I like a couple of the songs, but...
There's good actors, too. You got, well, one of them, Massachusetts. Yeah, you got Dennis Leary. Good comedian, decent actor.
Yep.
You got Bill Burr, that's a good comedian. I've only seen him act in a couple of things.
He was good in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I liked that.
I saw he was in Heat with McCarthy. What's that, Melissa McCarthy? And who's that other funny one? Sandra Bullock was in that.
Yeah, you can't say Melissa McCarthy around me.
Why?
Because of where I'm from, my accent. My nephew calls me, he always says to me that Melissa McCarthy is my doppelganger. He's like, you remind me so much of Melissa McCarthy. He goes, once you get going, he's like, and you're on your tangents, and then you start flying things out left and right. He's like, you're just like Melissa. Like, no, she's just like me.
She's more...
And she's former fat.
She's like that all the time.
She's former fat.
Former fat?
She is. She's a former fat.
She lose a bunch of weight?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she looks fantastic, but... She's former fat.
I really only watched her on Mike and Molly.
Oh, really?
Molly, yeah.
She's a great actress. Awesome comedian.
No, that one in Heat.
You never saw Tammy?
Oh, yes. Yes, I did see
Tammy was funny. Bridesmaids?
No, I wanted to see
Oh, she's great in Bridesmaids. She's great in Bridesmaids. Her husband's in it too, though. Her husband's in a lot of movies.
Who's her husband?
Her husband plays the guy on the airplane. Oh, you haven't seen Bridesmaids, so I can't.
I've seen the airplane. You know, the original one?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that, though.
You said airplane.
Her husband was in the airplane on the movie Bridesmaids.
Oh.
He plays the sky marshal. But
What's her husband's name?
I don't know. But he's funny. He's an actor, too. He's funny. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But they have quite the...
She's a comedian, too.
Ben Falcone. Falcone? That's his name. Yeah. Sick. I'm gonna look him up.
Look him up.
Oh, you know who else is good? It's from Boston? The Wahlbergs.
Oh, yeah, the Wahlbergs.
The Wahlbergs.
I like Mark Wahlberg.
I do too. I grew up and New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, you took me to the restaurant, but it wasn't open.
Because of COVID, Wahlburgers was closed.
My mother's been there. She said she likes it.
I like Wahlburgers.
She went to the one in California, not the one.
Well, yeah, there's many of them. I like Wahlburgers, though.
But the Massachusetts is the original, right?
Yeah, they started in Mass. I don't know. It's always really cool, though, when he does premieres, because he does them down in Hingham. And he does them at the theater that's in Hingham by Wahlburgers. And Almanove.
Premieres for his movies?
Yeah.
They usually have those out in California.
He does one out there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Which was really cool. Because we've seen it when we were down there. I don't get to see a lot of shit living up here now. Because I've been up here 20 years. So when I go home, I get to...
There ain't much going on anymore.
No, the good things about... There's always good things about going home, though. And with me, fat chick, it's always surrounding food.
Yeah, there's good Linwood's.
Linwood's. You liked Linwood's, didn't you?
Yeah, good pizza.
Yeah, Linwood's. My favorite Chinese restaurants down there. It's all good stuff. Can't get good Chinese food up here. Chinese food up here is not good.
Wonder what it is about Massachusetts that makes the Chinese food good. Well, obviously it's the people that's making it, but...
Yeah. It's also, you know what? It's not even that. It's so good. It's just what you grow up with.
Now, if you want to taste what Chinese food, really, Chinese people, Japanese...
Yeah.
You want to go to P.F. Chang's. That's real Chinese.
They're a chain. They're a chain.
They're a chain, but it's they make it exactly how...
We'll go to Chinatown. We'll go to Chinatown. You want real food? We'll go to Chinatown. Take you to Chinatown. Go right through where the combat zone used to be. What would you think the combat zone was?
That was... They had a... Wasn't that a bar? They had a... Oh, no, there was a bar in that area.
The combat zone.
But it's like a bad area of town.
The combat zone was the area in Boston, just outside of Chinatown, that had all this hookers and the peep shows.
Oh, so it's like a red light district.
Exactly. So, when you went down the wrong road, if you learned how to drive and you were going through Boston, you went down the wrong road, you end up in Chinatown and going through the combat zone, you're in a lot of trouble. You're like,
Yeah, Billy Joel talks about that, and you may be right. Combat zone.
That was the combat zone.
Bedford Stuyvesant. That's, where is that? Is that in New York?
What is it?
There's a town called Bedford Stuyvesant.
Never heard
It was
of
on that show, Everybody Hates Chris. Remember when that came out?
Never saw it.
In the early 2000s.
Never saw
Chris
it.
Rock.
I know who
like,
it is, but I never
voiced
saw
the
it.
kid.
Never saw it.
Anyways.
I like Chris Rock, though. He is one of those comedians that does a lot of political stuff.
Yeah, but he's kind of reminds me of like really good, like a really good band, because he could come out with like a special and it's great, and then you don't hear from him for like 3 or 4 years, and he'll come out with a movie.
Yeah.
You don't hear from him, but he always does well.
Yeah, because he's good. Because he's good.
Yeah, but he's not only that. He's kind of like a Tom Hanks. You never hear about him. You hardly ever hear about him in like the press, like anything bad.
Oh no, I heard something about Tom Hanks. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, the pedophile thing.
I don't know if I believe any of.
That was a joke.
No, I don't know about any of the pedophile things, and I'm not going to state on those because I don't know. Because if somebody is a pedophile, they deserve to have their sexual parts ripped off of them. And
his son's a rapper. I don't know. I can't remember his name.
he has another son that's an actor.
Yeah, we saw him. What movie did we see him in?
I don't know, but he was also in Dexter.
Oh, that's where I saw him.
Yeah, it was looking good. But I had heard something.
He's the one that followed the Indian and everything that he...
Right.
Yeah.
I heard something. And I want to see if it's true.
Okay.
So yeah, I found out, I looked it up. Tom Hanks and his wife became honorary Greek citizens. They're citizens of the country of Greece.
So meaning they're not U.S. citizens?
I don't know. Maybe they have dual citizenship now?
Hmm.
But I thought that was interesting. Because they have had a home there for years.
So what happened when John Lennon became a citizen? Does that mean that he can't be a citizen in England? Or couldn't have been?
No, you can't be a citizen of two places unless you have dual citizenship.
So with Tom Hanks, was that because of COVID?
No, because he'd been doing, I guess, all kinds of things for Greece for the 30 years that him and his wife had a home there. They have a home there.
Right.
So that's where they vacation and spend their time.
It's like Phil Collins, who lives in Switzerland.
So I wonder if he will become a Swiss citizen.
I don't know.
With politics nowadays, you can't tell what's going to happen. You have the movie stars and the musicians and all getting on their soapbox telling people what to do and who to vote for. And
yeah, and I feel about that the same way I feel about Trump. They got no experience in politics.
Are we going to go? Are we visiting Trump?
Yeah, we'll visit
Are we
Trump.
visiting Trump right now?
Now...
Oh, wait a minute. No, are we visiting Trump right now?
Yeah, I brought him up. I mean...
Yeah, well, no. He had no political experience. But let me ask you a question. Biden's been in office in some sort, for how long? For 40 some odd years he's been in office, held some kind of office in politics, right?
I'm not saying that that doesn't make him less crooked.
I'm just asking. These people that have had... This is why Trump got elected, because he had no experience in politics. You know that, right? Nobody voted for him because they thought he was going to be some political genius. Because they didn't want a political genius. They wanted someone that wasn't going to follow the norm. You know, you have people like Nancy Pelosi, Mitt Romney, he's a Republican, so I'm not saying anything against Democrat or Republican right now. You have Nancy Pelosi, you have Mitt Romney, you have Joe Biden, you have Bernie Sanders. They've all been in some political office for the last 30 years, and they have done nothing to change the racism in this entire country. have nothing to change.
How can they change the race?
Sexism, exactly. But why are they blaming it on Donald Trump?
Because they gotta blame it on whoever's in. If it wasn't Donald Trump president, they blame it on whoever was president. They do this all the time.
That's bull. No, Barack Obama proves that that's bull.
People think Trump's racist because of the whole Mexican thing.
Because they don't want a border wall. Guess what? I want a border wall. I'm not a racist. I think that people should have to apply to come into the country and follow the rules.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I have no problems with immigration. I have problems with illegal immigration.
I agree with that.
And that's what the wall is all about, is to prevent preventable illegal immigration and to prevent as much drugs from coming through the border crossing as possible.
That's not going to happen. You know why? Because of the whole diversity thing.
The wall's not going to happen.
All right, answer me this, okay? Supposedly,
I'm like, we're all over the place, yeah.
Supposedly, the U.S. is the most powerful country, right? Why the fuck do we help out other countries? That's how we get in this whole thing anyways. The whole debt and everything.
That's... You can ask Mr. Donald Trump. He asks that question all the time. You don't like Donald Trump. You like to say that you don't like Donald Trump.
I can't.
But you're asking the same question as him.
I can't say. There's only a couple things that I know is the reason why I don't like him. I'm not heavily into politics, okay? I don't know all about Congress. I don't know all about any of that shit. Because I don't have any interest in it. So
we have a dramatic...
I don't follow that stuff. You do. I don't.
We have a democratically held House and a Senate-held Congress, right? I mean, a Republican-held Congress. So, Senate. So, we have the House is held, majority is Democrat. And your Senate majority is Republican.
I didn't ask you, just explain it to me.
I'm trying to. So, right here, nothing can happen. And he can't do anything without them.
Right, this is legitimate. This has nothing... The only thing this has to do is... Anything to do with Trump is just because he's president. So why does... You're a president, okay? Why do you need Congress in order to pass something? Why wouldn't it be the president's final
That's how the
decision?
law's written.
Why wouldn't it be the president? So what the fuck is the point of having a president if he's got no say on anything? He has to run it by all these other people that have been in there for so fucking long.
Right.
And they're dinosaurs. They don't know anything about modern...
Agreed. Drain the swamp. Get rid of them all.
You clean house and get new people. Weren't we talking about that one time where they should have a cap?
Oh.
They do when you're a president.
Limit.
You get, 8 years?
You can only do 2 terms.
2 terms, that's it.
I think that should be the same as... And then, if we're going to go to that, where we need term limits, because I do believe we need term limits, because somebody in the House or the Senate that's 80 years old is making decisions for people that are 25 years old is crazy.
And when he was 25, it was a totally different
world.
But
then what kills me is the fact that they still get paid after they're gone.
Oh, they get it. They get their salary.
For the rest of their lives.
Their freaking insurance, everything.
Right. Why?
Protection.
They're not working anymore. When I stop working at a job, I don't get that money anymore.
No, that's it.
I leave my job. They don't keep paying me because I did a good job for the years that I was there. No.
You ain't got a gold watch anymore.
You don't get jack shit. You're done. You don't work anymore. Bye now.
They don't go by seniority anymore. They don't do that. It used to be seniority. Don't do that.
Well, no, because that goes back to the participation trophy. Because just because you've been there longer doesn't mean you know more.
No, but you would have an opportunity to move up before somebody below you.
And wow, we really shouldn't go into politics because I'm going to get fired up.
the whole point.
And I'm going to say some things that I probably shouldn't say. Like paying someone $15 to work at McDonald's absolutely slays me.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about earlier. Is that now, with this whole, we were talking about the whole stimulus and all that shit. Now, when they up the wage, minimum wage, it never balances out. So what happens is, yeah, you'll get paid more an hour, but the price of living is going to go up higher.
It has
so
to.
So it's never going to... Yeah, but it didn't do that in the friggin' 50s. In the 50s, the husband or whatever worked. The wife didn't work because she didn't have to. They had a house. They had like a car or two. They could go on vacation.
Inflation,
You
honey.
can't do any of that shit now.
It's all about inflation. 3% inflation yearly. But if you take somebody...
Wait, what is it?
3%.
Yearly?
Mm-hmm. So if somebody gets a job at McDonald's, right? And all of a sudden we're paying everybody $15 an hour to work at McDonald's. Well, all those McDonald's are going to start charging more.
Well, yeah, they have to make the money.
To pay those people those $15 an hour. And then once they start charging more, people are going to start charging more for other goods so they make enough money so they can buy their McDonald's. You know?
Well, what happens is yes, they got to pay their employees more, but then you got the trucking company and a
right, and that's what's going to bring up your cost of living.
So they have to do it.
Mm-hmm. It's just one big vicious circle, and I understand a person.
Yeah, but it all stems from government.
But people are saying people need to get a raise when they're working at McDonald's, so on and so forth, because it's not a living wage. You're not earning a living wage. That's what I keep hearing. They're not earning a living wage.
$15 an hour to flip burgers?
But they're not earning a living wage. No, because when you work at McDonald's wasn't created for housewives, for people to work full-time at for the rest of their lives. McDonald's was a first-grade job. When you come out of school and you don't have a job yet, or a summer job, it was great. You're making $8 flipping burgers. So what? You're making $8 flipping burgers. You get out, you go out with your friends. You have no responsibilities. Then you get out of high school and you get a full-time job that you've worked for, and you've written out your resume and you've said, okay, I know this, and this, and you hunt for this good job, so then you can make $15 an hour at the good job, and you can quit your $8 an hour job at McDonald's, and you make more money at this other job. McDonald's was never meant to be a living wage.
Right, but as years gone by, I've noticed, I'm sure you have, the people get older. The employees get older. It's not kids working there. Maybe on the weekend, but I've seen they had to have been in their 60s.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you
70s.
see a lot of... I definitely see a lot of retirees doing it. People that are
Now the question
on
is,
Social Security and only can make so much.
Yeah, and the fucking meds cost so much friggin' money that they have to.
We don't even want to go there because meds are ridiculous.
Yeah, we both take meds.
If you don't have insurance, you're screwed.
Yeah, I know this.
You know, and as a diabetic, you have to get insulin.
It's expensive, yeah.
That's enough on McDonald's. Living wage.
I want to hear about the NASCAR. You went to NASCAR.
When I went to the NASCAR races with my Peabody.
Explain the Peabody.
Well, every girl should have a Peabody. I don't know, maybe guys need them too. I don't know, I can't attest to the guys. But
No, we don't.
I was drinking, I love my twisted tea. And I was drinking a significant amount of twisted tea that day. And we went to Loudon to watch NASCAR races. And it was super, super hot. So when it's super hot, you drink more. And I was trashed out of my mind. And my Peabody, one of my friends, made sure that I got to the bathroom and got back to my seat. Went to the bathroom and got back to the car. Everything safely, because I was not able to do that on my own. So everybody, when you're drinking, should have a designated driver. I'm big on don't drink and drive. You know that.
Right.
I hate the thought.
Oh,
of
you're
drinking
good.
and
You won't even have a drink.
I won't have one drink and drive. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I won't pass judgment on anyone else. I'll pass judgment on you if you call me out for something. If you want to say some shit to me about my smoking or this or that, or fat shame me, and I know you're cracking a road soda when you're driving down the street, and you get cracked your natty daddy, and you're rolling down the road with a big old natty daddy, I will call you out on that, because that's bullshit. Because you can't just worry about your own life, you can kill somebody else. And that bothers me. So I'm big on anti-drinking and driving. Anyway, so my Peabody, which is what he became that day, because that's what he was walking me back to the bus, because we took a bus there. Was walking me back to the bus, and we had to cross the street from the racetrack to where we were parked. And I decided I was just too damn tired to walk anymore, and I needed to take a nap. So there's a cop directing traffic, telling people when to cross and when to go, not cross. As soon as I got across the street, I laid right down on the side of the road, decided it was nap time. And my Peabody's going, get up. Get up. You can't be laying down. They're gonna arrest you for drunk and disorderly. Get up. And I'm like, I'm not disorderly. I just want a nap. Get up. I want a nap. I made it back to the bus because of my persistent Peabody. So if you're gonna get inebriated, you should always have a Peabody. You were by my side as I threw up out of your car, trashed out of my mind, on like our second month of dating.
That wasn't the hardest part.
We won't discuss the hardest part.
Hardest part is getting you to walk the stairs. But anyways.
I was a handful that night. The worst part was you didn't even get lucky.
I already knew when we were at the place. The only thing on my mind was getting you upstairs. So.
Oh. Live and you learn.
Yeah. I think we're going to call it right here.
What are we going to call it?
Means we're ending the podcast.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Is that podcast talk?
Podcast lingo.
Podcast talk. I can say I'm cool like Bob Saget and have a podcast. Oh, that's going to be my new catchphrase. I'm cool like Bob Saget.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.
See ya.